hello there. It's going to be the fifth piece of our Navy SEALs strategy towards overcoming challenges, changes, making changes we want to make in our life, overcoming obstacles, and overcoming difficult behavior patterns. And I just want to remind you, we talked about previous videos. The reason I call it Navy SEALs is because of a friend I had who I found out because I was watching a program about the brain and they were using the Navy SEALs as an example. I found out a former colleague of mine was actually working and doing research with the Navy SEALs, and he had come up with the same change strategies. Now, at the time, both of us only had 4, and there was another individual was teaching a workshop I went to, and he had the same. All that happened within like a 2-month period. It was amazing. And so he talked about arousal control. I call it developing awareness, having an observational self, relaxing our bodies. There was challenging false beliefs, mental rehearsal, and doing things in bite-sized, doable steps. Breaking your task up, breaking the challenge up into something you can do. And the fifth, and I've added one over the years. I've added a fifth additional tool. And I find this one is overlooked most of the time. And it's the one everybody hates. And this one is, we develop willingness to feel what we usually avoid feeling. This is one of the biggest keys to your victory over unwanted sexual behavior or any other unwanted behavior. And that's because we have a bunch of emotions, we have a bunch of physical sensations, we have sexual desire, for example, shame, fear, guilt, emotions like that. We might have thoughts that come into our minds. There's all kinds of things. Maybe physical pain. Sometimes we have physical pain we don't like feeling. All these things are gifts from God. Yes, you heard me correct. They're gifts from God. Shame is a gift. Yes, all these emotions. I'll talk about that. I'll expand on that more at another time. But we are meant to be able to feel. We've gotten a place in our culture, especially here in the United States, and other places in the Western world, where we treat how we feel. We treat emotions as symptoms to be gotten rid of, and that's really not God's way for us. And it really won't bring victory, right? And a lot of times we will take something, we'll figure out that some pain that's driving an unwanted behavior, or maybe it's just we like a pleasure, but with unwanted sexual behavior, there usually is an underlying pain that we need to address. So I talked about, when we talked about challenging false beliefs, I said we need to open ourselves up to a vulnerability. Well, that isn't going to feel good. I got news for you. It feels horrible. Matter of fact, I tell a lot of my clients that do therapy with me that really good therapy is a lot like vomiting. As you approach it, as you're getting closer to what you need, it's going to feel really bad, right? If you've ever vomited, which is most people have, you don't feel good and you don't like it and you try to resist and you want to do anything but that. And while you're doing it, while you're vomiting, you want to do anything but that. It's to me, the worst feeling, right? You would rather do anything than to continue to vomit. But when the vomiting is over, I know it's kind of a gross example, so forgive me, but when that's over with, you feel better. The unwanted stuff has gotten out. Something toxic in you has been ejected from your body, and now you begin to feel better. There's a great relief. And if we're going to make strides towards change, we're going to have to face some unpleasantness. We're going to have to get out of our comfort zone. And the reason this is so vital and why I add it to the skill set is because if you're not careful, you'll find a successful strategy to change some compulsive pattern in your life, or some unwanted behavior in your life, or unwanted sexual behavior in your life, and you will find some other way. You'll get some other unhealthy pattern going in your life that continues the cycle of avoiding our pain. The truth is, there's going to be pain. Life has pain. Life is full of loss. You think about it, life is a process, it's a series of loss after loss after loss, and we have to be able to feel the pain of those losses to really keep moving forward, or we get stuck. There's painful things that are going to happen, and there's painful emotions, and when we start getting ourselves to be vulnerable to things, it's going to feel really scary. And I promise you, there's always some cause for the lies that have gotten into our hearts that lead us to the unhealthy patterns in our lives. And to open up and to experience the truth, we're going to have to open up. There's one veil that God can't open, right? He tore the veil around the temple, right, in front, that covered the holiest of holies. When Jesus Christ died on the cross, the veil was rent, right? It was torn open. But we have veils over our heart that God won't tear open. He's going to leave that for us, and we have to tear that open. We do this to be open to our brothers and sisters in Christ. We've got to be open to other members of the body, the spiritually mature, our pastor, maybe a spiritual mentor, somebody that's a leader in your life, our spouses. We need to have that veil open there. We really need to learn, God doesn't want this veil actually for anything. It really serves very little purpose for us. And it's a place that we begin to hide, and it's a place of darkness. It puts darkness in our heart. If I had more time, I'd go through all the scriptural references to that. Read 1 John. There's darkness, and we've got to bring light in, and the only way we can do that is if we open up the veil. Well, that's scary, right? Because these are the places we're really going to heal. We've got to open up the deepest places in our heart, the places we've been hurt the most and wounded the most. And allow ourselves to allow somebody to come in. We've got to allow Jesus Christ to come in there. Well, that should be easy, right? We trust Jesus. The scariest thing you'll do is be vulnerable to Jesus, because if he rejects you or if he hurts you, where do you go after that? Right? It's scary. We may appear, we may think it, but to begin to believe it, we've got to put that thought into action, and then we'll begin to believe it. But to put it into action, we're going to have to move through those emotions. We can't negate or avoid. The more we avoid emotions, the more we're going to stay stuck. I'm going to end this video here. Glad to answer any questions if you want to message me. But God bless you. You're going and be confident. You're going to make it. I'm just going to tell you at the end of this video, you're going to make it. You're going to make it. God is going to do a miraculous work in your life. We've got to believe that. And we've got to hold fast to it. That is the truth, and we've got to be vulnerable to that truth. God bless you, have success, and we will see you in the next video.